Hey guys, I'm Sam McCorder. Now, since Infinity War has been out for a little while now, I'm going to go full spoilers because boy, do I have a rant to go on. I have a lot of things that I want to get to, but first, let's start with this one. This is a movie that really fundamentally misunderstands its characters, okay? Let's start with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So we have a 2-movie arc for the Guardians of the Galaxy before they come into this movie, right? And they have all of this growth that is over the arc of all of their characters, right? So you have Peter Quill. He starts off as this arrogant guy who has no idea what the f he's doing, and he sort of learns how to have a family, even if it's not the family that's biological to him. He learns what that means. And that's really important to his character. That's kind of the whole point of the last 2 movies, is that he learns to do that. Wait, what?
You realize you just dropped the bomb, right?
Yeah, you told me I could swear.
When did I say that?
Like literally 10 minutes before this. You said you would bleep it out. I can do it without it. I was just going with it.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you really did. You have the first movie where they're just a group of people who don't really have anything, and they all come together, and especially Peter learns how to sacrifice for the good of those people around him instead of being a selfish, arrogant person, right? And then the second movie is even more about driving that home. It doesn't matter who your biological family is, it's the family that you make that matters. And then we get to Infinity War, and all of that is thrown out the window. All of a sudden, they're allowing each other to split up after learning how to be a family, which first of all makes no sense whatsoever. And then you have Peter, who makes one of the stupidest decisions of the entire movie. And why? Because he's being a selfish, arrogant person like he was in the first movie. This movie throws out all of the great growth that was in those last 2 movies just for the sake of making it kind of interesting. The bad guy still wins, right? So why throw away what your previous movies have been doing just to get nothing out of it? That makes no sense. This is a movie that doesn't understand where its characters are coming from. The same with Iron Man, the same with Spider-Man. It doesn't understand the relationship between those characters. It doesn't understand the relationship between Captain America and everything, his ideals. He talks about how they're not gonna sacrifice one person for a lot of people, and then goes out and sacrifices an entire army for one person. That's not how Captain America does anything, if any of his movies are gonna be a reference for you. So yeah, Infinity War has no idea what its characters are doing. It's like they didn't even watch the last couple of movies. And that's kind of the whole point. If these movies don't have continuity, then why are we watching them? They're just some random collection of things. But that's not the big issue here. The big issue with Marvel and the way that they portrayed this movie is Thanos. Thanos is supposed to be the big bad, and there's 2 problems with that case, okay? Thanos, for one, is absolutely an idiot. He just is so bad as a villain because his plan is awful. Here's the thing. Let's say Thanos succeeds like he does in the movie. He cuts all populations in half. Let's say Earth, right? Where does that take us back to? That takes us like to 1800. What, you're gonna do this every 200 years, Thanos? Yeah, I don't think so. That doesn't help anything, and you've just managed to kill half the galaxy. Way to go. So maybe just with all of the power in the world at your disposal, you could just create more resources. Did you think of that? No, and obviously the writers didn't either, because then they wouldn't have had their character do something that's so stupid when it could have had such an easy solution just on the opposite end of the spectrum. It's not even going outside of the box, it's literally just saying, what if we did the opposite of what you're trying to do? And then there's the really big issue with this movie. You see, Thanos is portrayed as an abusive father figure. We've had that for multiple movies now, and that's fine. There are characters like that in movies, and it's real, right? You need to have those characters because they're important. But at the same time, the way that this movie handles that is horrendous. It is just unacceptable. We see in one of the most critical stages of the film, a movie in 2018 telling us that an abuser really does love the person they're abusing. Think about that for a second. Yeah, that's what I thought. And that's just crazy to think about, right? I mean, these are executives who sat in a room, in a boardroom, and said, yeah, what if we showed a scene where the father tortures the daughter's sister to get her to reveal some information? And then we had her break down and go to that location, give up that information because her sister was tortured by their father, and then the big reveal that everyone's gonna be waiting on, how does he get this object of power, is that he really does love her. And that he has to make some sort of sacrifice from within himself to get it? That's ridiculous. And the fact that none of them caught it is just absolutely unconscionable. And so yeah, Infinity War has a lot of problems that are just plot related. It doesn't hold together great tonally. It doesn't understand its characters. Its big bad isn't scary because his plan is comical. But when it boils down to it, the biggest problem is what this movie is really saying about love. And I think it's a message that we should all be paying attention to. So that's my rant. I'll see you whenever I have another one.